Chiangong, I'm your host, and we are in the journey called Shadows. Dear travelers, you are welcome once more this Friday evening, and we have another interesting topic. And before I move on, I want to thank Madame Namondo, the principal of the government secondary school in Mutengene, for the beautiful words you sent to encourage us on your appreciation on the last discussion on my home. We also want to thank Denise from the United States for the beautiful message she sent to us in her appreciation of the work we did on my home. Yet she raised another concern, that was, what about the homeless? And that was a beautiful reflection, Denise, because we talked about homes and those who have homes in all its forms. The homeless, what about them? And what about those who live in homes and they feel they are homeless? Let's think about it. Maybe that will be another talk we'll have for you. But before we go on to discuss today's topic, which is the need to rest. The need to rest. The need to rest. I want to sleep. I want some sleep. I want some sleep. Does it sound familiar? How often did you pronounce this statement? And before I start running my mouth, let us welcome you to Shadows. Shadow, shadow, shadow. Where are you? Here I am. I am shadow, I am shadow, I am in you, I am with you, I am visible, and I am invisible. Everything has a shadow. It grows and matures with us as the day moves on, changing in lengths and angles from birth to death. My shadow stays with me, appearing and disappearing. When I am invisible, I am under you, and we call that midday. When I am longest, I am impressive. We call it dawn or twilight. The shadow is that part of us, that part of our story and memory we are not proud of. It is that part of our experience we are not very comfortable with. It can as well be the element of pride, contempt, and arrogance we ignore or are not aware. The shadow is also the shade under which you run for cover after a hot burning day's sun, struggling to meet the day's objective. It's that comforting zone, that safe place where you go to when it becomes tough to manage the journey here on earth. It's that soul down which you lean to cry. What about the talent you are hiding, that gift you have? You are having an inferiority complex about something that we just need, wonderfully made in you. That can also be the shadow. Shadow, you make us question our outcome. You are really hard to bear at times. We resign and surrender to you as we realize shadow will always be there with us. Whenever you have the shadow, you know the light is close by. We only have the dark because there is light. The shadow is the product of the light. When you have the shadow, look to the opposite and you will see the light. Don't look to the shadow. Don't look to your pain. Look to the wisdom, the grace that comes on the other side of your pain and your tribulations. Ask your pain to lead you to the light that changes your life. Bring us your shadow. Finally, let them come to rest. Finally, let them build a purpose in our lives. Let your shadow be, let my shadow be, and let our shadow be, and smile. Dear travelers, it's beautiful to share this topic. Sometimes I go back in retrospection and I try to reflect on the things we said in the earlier days, and I'm happy to realize that I was equally talking to myself. Toujours un plaisir d'être avec vous. Le Shadows aujourd'hui va discuter le repos. Laisse-moi dormir. Il vous arrive de prononcer cette phrase? Le besoin du repos. Il y a tellement qui a déjà été écrit, dit et parlé sur la nécessité du repos. Aujourd'hui, on va le prendre comme notre sujet principal, notre préoccupation dans les réflexions qui devraient nous enrichir et nous épauler dans les efforts que nous faisons à différents niveaux sur le voyage que nous faisons sur cette terre. We fear to die, yet we can't resist sleep. On a peur de mourir et on n'arrive pas à résister le sommeil. Rest is crucial. It's crucial for both physical and mental well-being. It allows the body and the mind to recover, recharge, and repair, leading to improved moods, focus, and overall healthy lifestyle. La question du bonheur et l'importance du repos n'est plus une question à poser. Tout le monde a suffisamment d'informations. Mais il est possible que les difficultés de vivre notre vie nous fassent oublier. Donc ce rappel n'est pas un de plus ou un de trop. Le repos est central sur la santé physique et santé mentale. Il permet au corps de se régénérer, de se recharger, de se réparer, d'améliorer ses fonctionnements et surtout d'avoir le focus et bien sûr une vie beaucoup plus équilibrée. Physiquement, le sommeil et le repos rabaisse ou amène à la baisse la pression artérielle, la régénération au niveau du système cardiovasculaire, la gestion du poids et la régulation de notre métabolisme et surtout notre appétit. Ça améliore le système immunitaire et rend notre système de défense plus efficace et améliore le fonctionnement du cerveau et surtout le processus de la gestion de mémoire et la consolidation du pouvoir de réflexion dans le système cognitif et l'élimination des toxines. On the physical basis, rest and sleep lowers your heart rates, your blood pressure, the recovery of the cardiovascular system. We know what the systems go through on a daily basis. Our weight management is linked to rest, especially as it regulates hunger and the metabolism. It strengthens our immune system, making our defense more effective, and it improves in a faster recovery and the healing processes of the body, especially when it comes to regeneration and repairs. The brain function is greatly improved. Information processes, the management of memory, the cognitive processes, and the elimination of toxins. Sur le point de vue émotionnel et mental, ou le bien-être, il gère notre état d'âme, la régulation de nos humeurs, surtout la capacité de rester plus calme, moins irritable, l'absence de stress. Ça baisse le taux d'anxiété de notre corps, améliore un sens du calme. Bien sûr, il améliore notre focus, le comportement, la concentration, les processus mentaux, donc cognitifs, et ça améliore notre créativité, nous donne la possibilité de s'abandonner dans nos pensées et de régénérer les idées inimaginables à des moments même inattendus. On the emotional scale, we'll have moods are well regulated with less irritability and stress. The reduction of anxiety, stress levels drop. Yes, we're promoting a sense of calm. It improves our focus and our cognitive function, especially concentration. Of course, it enhances our creativity, allowing the mind to wander and ignite great and unimaginable ideas in the most unexpected moments, and great concepts brings a light to our journeys. It's very important for us to take this as the first sweep on how sleep and rest can be a very important aspect. Let's get a jingle and we'll visit what the scientists have thought and written on the wisdom in resting. And of course, one of the best ways to rest is to sleep. Jingle, please. When we were reflecting on the topic, we were thinking we would talk about resting. But as much as I was talking about resting, what came to mind was sleeping. And I thought so much is done in sleeping. There's so much mystery in sleeping. Yet I thought it's time we start discussing sleeping, even if this will not be the end. I need some sleep. It has occurred to you to say, leave me alone. Let me sleep. And you say it, exasperatedly. Yeah, du moment où vous dites laisse-moi dormir. Je ne veux pas du bruit. Laisse-moi dormir. This craving, this cry for the sleep is because you know you will rest in the process. On sait qu'on va se reposer lorsqu'on va dormir. C'est pour ça, il y a des moments, on appelle ce sommeil avec toute notre âme. Oui, et même quand on a peur de mourir, on n'arrive pas à résister le sommeil. Even when we are afraid to die, we can't resist sleep. And when it comes, we go humbly, we go totally and fully, and it's beautiful. Sometimes it comes in the most unexpected places and at the most unexpected hours. Brain science reveals that rest is a crucial aspect for the energy regulation, memory consolidation, and clearing metabolic waste from the system. This brings about cognitive decline, reduced performances, and the likeliness for stress and irritability. That is when we find ourselves in chronic states of restlessness and chronic absence of sleep. The pathways in the brain that let you learn, create new memories, are completely disrupted when our sleep and our resting is not functioning well. 10 structures of the brain are directly involved with the sleep process, which brings about rest. We have the hypothalamus, we have the brainstem, where our balance is equilibrium is managed. We have the pineal gland, we have the basal forebrain, we have the midbrain, we have the amygdala, which manages all of our emotions. Just to let you know, among others, that when it comes to resting, your whole brain is involved. And this means when it doesn't work well, you don't certainly wish to do anything else well. Certainly every other thing you intend to do will go wrong. You can imagine how often we forego sleep and rest because we want to meet objectives. What a very insensible way of thinking. All of what would permit you meet the objective, and in the appropriate way, you think you can compromise it to be able to meet the objective. It's like putting your cart ahead of the horse. Alors donc, on s'imagine combien de fois on a demandé qu'on va garder le sommeil à côté, on va arrêter de se reposer parce qu'on va atteindre nos objectifs. C'est tellement insensé parce que vous êtes en train de compromettre tout ce qui permet ces objectifs d'être atteints et dans les normes. Alors donc, le neuroscience dit clairement que le sommeil et le repos est crucial pour la régulation de nos mémoires, l'énergie, la consolidation et le bon fonctionnement de la gestion de notre métabolisme et l'élimination des déchets toxiques de notre corps. Ça permet le processus cognitif de rester en forme. Et l'absence du repos va apporter un déclin sérieux dans les processus cognitifs et notre performance va baisser et il y aura l'installation d'une tendance de l'anxiété, le stress et l'irritabilité. Le processus par lequel le cerveau constitue l'apprentissage, la connaissance, la mémoire est complètement interrompu par l'absence de repos et le sommeil. On a vu les 10 différentes parties du cerveau qui sont directement impliquées dans le processus de repos. Le sommeil entre en question de façon principale parce que bien sûr par le sommeil le repos est garanti. Il y a beaucoup d'autres moyens par lesquels on peut avoir le repos. Nous allons en parler, mais regardez celui qui est donné, qu'on peut prendre sans effort, qui des fois de plus en plus difficile à avoir. Et on peut imaginer combien de gens doivent prendre des comprimés pour pouvoir dormir. Pourtant, c'était donné gratuitement et à lui était donné la possibilité de nous imposer sa présence même contre notre volonté. Sleep. Sleep is an important part of your daily routine. Quality sleep, getting enough of quality sleep and at the right time is as essential for our survival as food and water. Avoir le bon sommeil, le vrai sommeil, le bon sommeil et au moment approprié est aussi indispensable pour notre survie comme il est la nourriture et l'eau. Vous voyez maintenant, je pense que la logique devient intéressante. Lorsque le sommeil est mis au même niveau avec la nourriture et l'eau, vous pouvez imaginer combien de temps vous mangez à l'heure où vous devez être en train de dormir. Alors, so if we put food, water, and sleep on the same platform for the survival of the human being, can you imagine how many times you are eating when you are supposed to be sleeping? That is, you eat during eating hours and you eat during sleeping hours. You understand what I'm saying? This is very important. Without sleep, the brain can't build new pathways to learn and to create new memories. Avec l'absence de sommeil, le développement du cerveau s'arrête. C'est ce que ça veut dire. C'est-à-dire, le cerveau, c'est un produit qui est toujours en autocréation. Il est en train de s'élargir. Et quand on dit qu'il y a l'intelligence quelque part, il y a l'absence d'intelligence quelque part, il faut dire que c'est deux cerveaux, un qui travaille, l'autre qui se repose. Qui ne travaille pas, c'est-à-dire qui n'est pas en activité constructive pour améliorer le nombre de circuits nerveux qui permettent de magnifier ses capacités de réfléchir et de par la logique de comprendre des situations de beaucoup plus complexes. Donc le repos donne la possibilité au cerveau d'élargir des avenues par lesquelles il peut résoudre des problèmes que nous rencontrons. Without sleep, the brain can't build new pathways to learn and create new memories. It is harder to concentrate and respond quickly. On va voir que le pouvoir de concentration et la réponse à des challenges peuvent être beaucoup plus lents. Et vous savez, si vous êtes un leader, le temps que vous prenez la bonne décision, la guerre vous a déjà envahi, ou bien le concurrence a déjà pris le dessus. Donc vous voyez, ça se passe dans toute situation de conflit, de combat, de survivre, que ce soit pour fuir ou pour se défendre. Il est important que vous avez la capacité tout de suite de comprendre ce qu'il faut faire. Sleep does the housekeeping that cleans the brain of toxins and builds it when we are awake. Everyone needs sleep, but its biological purpose remains a mystery. Il est clair que tout ce qu'il faut connaître sur le sommeil n'est pas encore sur la table, n'est pas encore bien maîtrisé par les scientifiques, mais nous connaissons suffisamment pour savoir qu'il est indispensable. Sleep affects every tissue and organ and system of the body, the brain, the heart, the lung, the immune system, our metabolism, mood, disease, and our resistance to infection. Donc, dans toutes les analyses et les études scientifiques, le sommeil touche toutes les parties, toutes les cellules, tous les tissus, tous les organes et les systèmes du corps. On parle du cerveau, le système central nerveux, le cœur, les poumons, le système immunitaire, nos humeurs et notre résistance aux maladies. Et dans les recherches, on a vu que l'absence chronique de sommeil et de repos, ou la qualité de repos médiocre, apporte de sérieux problèmes de santé, la tension artérielle, donc hypertendue, les soucis cardiovasculaires, la diabète, la dépression, l'obésité et bien sûr les AVC, sans oublier le cancer. From research, it is clear that the absence of sleep or bad quality sleep brings about the following diseases and many more: high blood pressure, cardiovascular disorders, cancer, strokes, diabetes, depression, obesity. As a matter of fact, we have challenges with weight management, and as a therapist, we've had to manage a lot of cases where clients don't understand that we are not laying emphasis on your diet and exercises. We are actually going to diagnose your lifestyle, your mood, and emotional challenges as the basis to put the other elements on top. We'll talk about that. We have a great writer. We are going to discuss his book shortly, who is dealing with weight loss. There are sleep stages that come up. We have two main stages of sleep. We have the REM sleep, that is the rapid eye movement, and the non-REM sleep, which is the non-rapid eye movement. Science studies our sleep. What happens when we are sleeping? What happens just at the beginning of sleeping? These alternate, and we move to the rapid eye as we go beyond the 90 minutes of sleep. The early minutes of sleep, we are in the non-rapid eye movements, and the situation is like half awake, half asleep. We have emotional slowdown, we have muscular relaxation, heartbeat rate drops gradually as we get into these initial stages of the sleep. There is an alternance between the REM and the non-REM sleep, with the REM being longer. So as we go gradually into the rapid eye movement sleep, which means that the eyeball is moving even when the eyelids are closed, we are getting into the deeper sleep where other manifestations start to take place. But it is important for us to know that there are three stages of the non-rapid eye movement sleep where the heartbeat gradually drops, the muscle goes into complete relaxation, and of course the blood pressure drops quite well, so that we can be carried into the phase of the rapid eye movements. In the rapid eye movements, that is where dreams really come in, and our muscles go into paralysis, and at this state we cannot act our dreams, and of course the heart rates come up again, the pressures come up during that stages. That's when the sleep can be really, really deep, and we have realized that these are many factors that will affect the nature of our sleep. It has to do with our emotional states, but there are also genetic factors involved, and there are also neurotransmitters in the brain that respond to the need for sleep, that will react differently in the absence of sleep. And there are some advice that we can give as a matter of sleep. Alors donc, la neuroscience est très claire. Il y a deux formes de sommeil. Le sommeil où les yeux ne bougent pas, donc on dit REM, non-REM, et le REM c'est quand les yeux bougent, même quand les paupières sont couvertes, ils bougent très rapidement. Sur les premières parties du sommeil, juste le début du sommeil, c'est une baisse de tension, détente musculaire, le cœur, battement de cœur très apaisé, et on est dans une phase où on est en train de progressivement quitter l'état d'éveil à l'état de sommeil. Ça peut aller jusqu'à 90 minutes qu'on se retrouve dans ce voyage où le vrai sommeil profond vient, où le rêve s'installe. À ce moment, le battement de cœur augmente, le cerveau entre en activité encore, mais les muscles sont paralysés. De cette façon, on ne peut pas jouer ce qui se passe dans nos rêves. Et nous savons que la qualité de notre sommeil dépend des facteurs héréditaires, dépend de notre santé et nos états émotionnels. Il y a aussi des facteurs génétiques qui sont liés à la qualité de notre sommeil. Beaucoup d'études continuent à être faites sur le sommeil qui peuvent devenir un sujet principal de l'une de ces émissions où on va développer davantage sur le sommeil. Mais je voulais dire que le sommeil est crucial. Il est central pour notre équilibre et notre bien-être. Et ce n'est pas la première chose qu'on va compromettre lorsqu'on a des difficultés ou des challenges pour réussir. Et là, en conseil général, les enfants doivent dormir dans les 16 à 18 heures par jour, sans oublier que dans les quelques 6 heures où ils sont éveillés, ils sont très agités. Les adolescents doivent dormir dans les 9 heures à 9h05, 9h30 par jour. Et tous les autres, même les adultes et les aînés, peuvent faire 7 à 9 heures par jour. Moi qui parle ici, je ne peux pas garantir que j'arrive à 7 à 9 heures par jour. Et donc, ce message est directement me parle. Mais il y a beaucoup d'autres facteurs qui permettent qu'on fonctionne bien ou suffisamment bien en dehors du sommeil. Parce qu'à la fin de la journée, le corps a besoin de repos. Et ce repos, on peut l'avoir par d'autres études, d'autres connaissances qui seront des sujets qu'on va continuer à développer ici. Mais parce que le sommeil est là, parce qu'il est gratuit, parce qu'on n'a pas besoin d'efforts, si on fonctionne dans l'école de Shadows, dormez s'il vous plaît. Et quand vous avez fini de dormir, dors encore un peu. So, sleep is free. It can come when you don't want it. So sleep. And if you finish sleeping, sleep a bit more. And of course, we will go on to let you know, sleep is not only physiological or physical, it's also spiritual. You have instructions coming right from above, your God Almighty asking you to sleep, like an instruction. Just like, we tell the children sleep and we switch off the lights. And there are many reasons today why sleep is a challenged aspect, it's a threat, because the number of entertainment aspects, le concept de divertissement a inondé nos maisons jusqu'à dans la chambre. Le divertissement est partout et le sommeil est complètement menacé. Il est dans nos montres, il est dans les téléphones, à la télévision. Et certaines personnes ont piqué la folie, le plus grand niveau, d'amener installer les télévisions dans leur chambre. Bon, je ne sais pas. Ça vient de partir tout seul comme ça. So, some people have gone to the higher level of losing their minds. Put television screens in their bedrooms. When there's one in the parlor and maybe in the veranda and of course in the kitchen. What's happening to us? Entertainment has invaded our intimacy to the point that sleep is threatened. And you go to the children's room, they have their pads, they have their telephones. When you have prayed and told them good night, now we have to go into those rooms and switch off the lights and tell them sleep. And we used to tell them cover your eyes, because sometimes to switch from life to sleep can be so difficult. There are other aspects linked with the diet, heavy sugar diets, sweet drinks, artificial appetizers in foods, conservatives, pigments, and all of those things we add, additives that we add to what we consume, has rendered the brain hyperactive, and sleep is difficult to come by. Older persons have more trouble to sleep. Sometimes it's because of the medications that they take and they tamper with their sleep. We'll have a jingle and we'll have a little beautiful sound so as to move us to what the wisdom has been able to develop as far as sleep is concerned. Let's have a jingle, please. One of the instruments that will bring sleep to you is the flute. But we can talk generally about the pipe instruments, the saxophones, the flutes, the trumpets. And when we talk about the flutes, I would bring you to some cultures that have developed the flute. This is the bamboo flute from Bamenda, a Bafutman's flute made in the handicraft center there. And this flute, I've been blowing it since primary school. It was my first instrument before I knew my voice could sing. And the pipe instruments have a frequency that will incite sleep in the brain. And it's one of the instruments that we use in therapy to slow down the hyperactivity of the brain and induce sleep. You will have it with the flutes, you will have it with the horns, you will have it with the trumpets, the saxophones, the clarinets, the trombones, and of course you have the Indian flute, which is not very different from this. You have beautiful melodies with the Tibetan flute, and of course the Chinese flute. And these other pipe instruments, we have a lot more of them in our tradition, like this one here. You know, they're so unique. There is some melancholy, and there is some high call for sensitivity and inner feeling and introspections. These are what flutes do, sound produced through the air, going through the pipes. And of course, what have the wisdom from the great one, the Lord, God Almighty. The book of the truth says, if you hear his word, harden not your hearts. And as I say this, I want to also look at some of the wise people who have treaded this world and who continue to inspire us to look up to life beyond this one here on earth. The book of Ecclesiastes ultimately suggests that while life is full of uncertainties and challenges, it is important to find joy and meaning in the present. He points to the fear of the Lord as the path to finding true rest and meaning. Not the fear of terror, but of reverence for God's authority and wisdom. The God Almighty we worship is a kind God. He says your sins are far away from him as the east is from the west, which means that before this our lifespan is over, if the sins were leaving the west to meet God in the east, he will not arrive. We would have left this world as good people in his sight. Very encouraging, very stimulating, very motivating. I read poetry sometimes, and I have Rumi. Is a very interesting writer, Rumi. And Rumi says, though we seem to be sleeping, there is an inner wakefulness that directs our dreams and will eventually state us back, startle us back to the truth of who we are. So even in our sleep, we'll discover ourselves. Sleep is a beautiful journey. It's a wonderful journey. And I know what it looks like and it feels like not to be able to have sleep. Sri Sri Ravi Shankar, one of my spiritual teachers, he says sleep is a necessary process of rejuvenation and purification for the body. The mind withdraws from the external world and dissolves the senses of I, my, and mine, where all the bondage is. Yes, the ego goes to rest in sleep. Shri Shri, thank you very much for all the work you're doing. It's very important for us to see where this is going. In your sleep, one aspect of your disembodiment is that you are free from the troubles of this world, at least for the time you are sleeping, because our pain is in the five senses. Matthew 11:28-30. Come to me, all who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and lowly in my heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light. Ça c'est du baratin. This is seductive. It's so sweet. It's romantic. It is. You just rush to it. It says, "Come to me, all who labor and are heavy laden." We are all. I don't think there's any exception to this, except you have gone to this point of no return where you cannot even feel that you are completely overburdened. This is spiritual rest found in Jesus when burdened by life's challenges. So spirituality is a calling to rest, because it says, like my God says somewhere later on, we'll come to that. It's important for you to know that it's no use rise up so early, works hard. Yes, we want you to toil, we want you to master the world. It's giving you power over the vegetation and the animal, but it made you to know that rest is part of this glory. He makes me lie down in green pastures. We are in Psalm 23. He leads me beside still water. He restores my soul. God here is portrayed as the good shepherd who provides physical and emotional rest and restoration. How can we do mental health? How can we bring emotional balance to people without being spiritual? I'm still looking for how. Let scientists come out clear and put it. I know they are saying it without actually saying it, but they have already said it. For the wise, for he who has ears, you should hear. How can you bring mental balance, emotional stability, mental health to people without being spiritual? Just tell me, how is it possible? In Exodus 20, the Lord says, remember the Sabbath day as a day of rest and keep it holy. The emphasis is on the holiness and the importance of ceasing to work, which means that when you cease to work, you are respecting God. When you create breaks and moments in your life, you're coming back to honor the one who created you, to be conscious and aware of the human body and the mystery of its creation. So rest is not only physical, it is a spiritual exercise. It's recognition that there is a power beyond yours. When your mental processes keep you running, you keep feeling like you have control over everything. Rest is an indication that you can't do it all, and that there is something bigger than you. And the God who put you on this earth will acknowledge that and make your efforts more productive. Alors, au repos, c'est un message spirituel. La reconnaissance d'un Dieu, d'une puissance au-dessus de votre physique et votre pouvoir mental. C'est une indication que je prends conscience que j'ai des limites en tant qu'un être humain dans la chair, et que de temps en temps, je dois laisser cette instance supérieure prendre charge de la chose. Et souvent, c'est dans le sommeil, c'est dans le repos. Archimédis, c'est dans le repos. Newton, c'est dans le repos qu'il a compris les lois de gravité. C'est dans le repos sur un arbre que Newton a découvert la loi de gravité. C'est dans un baignoire où il s'est trempé que Archimédis a découvert la loi des displacement law, the theory of displacement. Et tous ces génies ont refaçonné et restructuré le monde. And then, of course, in Psalm 127, it is in vain you rise up early and go late to rest, eating the bread of anxious toil, for he gives his beloved in their sleep. God feeds his dear ones in the comfort of their sleep. This shows the futility of excessive labor without rest, and God's provision for those who trust in him. Comforting. In all, remember, rest is not only physical but also spiritual, crucial for our well-being and relationship with God. Yes, God will not listen to your prayers when they come in a rush from a hectic, hyperactive mind. The prayers come from a peaceful, meditative mind of one who has rested, who has gone into a state of inner peace and is talking to his Almighty One. In rest, through sleep, we actually move away from the body. That is the center of our pain. Yes, the body is where the five senses are. That's where all the troubles meet us. In meditation, we consciously detach from this very body. The outcome of both experiences tell us there is better than this life on earth. And this is what all the messengers have repeated to us mortals. This is what all the holy ones who come to earth. Oui, dans le repos, dans la méditation qui est une façon consciente de se reposer, on est en train de se rappeler il y a mieux que vivre sur la terre, et que la compréhension de ce message qu'il y a mieux que vivre sur la terre fait que la vie sur la terre soit formidable, soit un extase, soit formidable, une bénédiction. Bill Clinton was asked what advice he can give this guy they called Obama when he became president. And Clinton said, I have two things to tell you. One, don't make any serious decision that will affect this country when you are angry or when you are tired. Unquote. Let us meditate on this and let us have the jingle, and we'll have the transition into the commercial break before we look at the book review. Thank you.
passion? Do you doubt your natural talents? Do you have free time to idle around each day and more? Chiangong Hair Beauty and Fashion School and Academy offers you a successful career. Graduates and school dropouts alike develop competence in hairdressing, beauty therapy, therapeutic massage, special makeup, nail art, spa management, and so much more. An international and bilingual school and academy since 1984. Accredited by the Ministry of Employment and Vocational Training. Chiangong Hair Beauty and Fashion. Creativity with discipline. More than 35 years of experience. Head Office 545 Rue Sylvanie Bernabe, Aquadouala, Cameroon. Contact +237 675 882872 or 677 856768. Bonamoussadi Agency, Viva Coiffure, Eneo Building Zone A, Douala. Contact +237 653 560196. Facebook, Emmanuel Chiangong. Is beauty a...
Hello, the lamp is lighted. We have to read, and we are reading from Maigri là où vous voulez, slim where you want. Slim where you want. Is it the stomach area? Is it at the buttocks? Is it at the upper hips? Is it on the head? You want to slim your head, or you want to slim your feet? Slim where you want. It is what we call targeted weight loss. You know, la perte du poids ciblé. Ciblé où vous voulez. Notre auteur s'appelle Pierre Paladis, avec les énergies du corps et de l'esprit. The approach of Mr. Peter, this French former military officer who becomes an osteopath and specialized in well-being therapies, wrote a very beautiful book here to slim. And as for the second time, I'll come in with a book in French. An introduction. Qui n'a jamais décidé de maigrir? Nombreux sont ceux et celles qui ont réussi. Les chemins menant à la perte du poids ne manquent pas, le choix est vaste. Les régimes sont innombrables. Finalement, il est facile de maigrir. Ce qui est difficile, c'est de maigrir là où on veut, de sculpter son corps, de ne pas regrossir, de rester en bonne santé avec un moral ou beau fixe. Oui, ça est très difficile. L'objectif de ce livre est précisément de vous permettre de maigrir là où vous voulez, de tonifier votre corps, de garder définitivement votre poids idéal et de rassembler toutes vos énergies pour vivre mieux. Ça, c'est le livre. Ça sera une lecture vraiment croustillant que je vous conseille. Pas seulement les hommes, les femmes, mais pas seulement les femmes, les hommes. De plus en plus, les hommes ont de ces ventres qui ont besoin d'être interrogés. Donc, il est important. Après une perte de poids, on observe souvent des retombées négatives. On paye parfois cher les quelques kilos perdus, frustration, sensation de faim, stress, irritabilité, dépression nerveuse et autres problèmes de santé. De plus, on est rarement totalement satisfait de sa nouvelle silhouette. Et l'on regarde avec scepticisme, voire avec méfiance celui ou celle qu'on est devenu. On se sent étranger à l'intérieur de ce corps différent ou contour un peu flou où apparaissent des imperfections nouvelles. Il est rare qu'on maigrisse dans les mêmes proportions à chaque endroit du corps. On peut garder une taille trop épaisse, des infiltrations de cellulite sur les cuisses ou au contraire observer un affaississement de la peau, des bras ou d'ailleurs. Il peut se révéler nécessaire de poursuivre l'amaigrissement de certains endroits, d'en tonifier d'autres, de sculpter son corps et de continuer et de parfaire le travail de modification. Vous voyez, ce problème de perdre le poids en tant que thérapeute, je suis esthéticienne, masseuse et thérapeute et j'ai beaucoup de programmes de gestion de poids. Je parle toujours de gestion de poids parce que gérer le poids veut dire qu'on a fait une consultation, on a analysé et qu'on a un objectif à atteindre, qu'on a partagé avec le client, on est tombé d'accord avant d'entamer le voyage ensemble et c'est un travail qui doit être accompagné, il y a des règles à suivre. Écoutons Monsieur Pierre, il dit la méthode comporte trois parties. La première a pour objet de vous réconcilier avec vous-même, de vous débarrasser des idées fausses négatives et de corriger les mauvaises positions et de votre corps. When you want to lose weight, we have to rework the mental processes as far as your relationship with your body is concerned. For example, there are a lot of blocking beliefs and negative thoughts that have gone through your mind, even your way of appreciating yourself. Le deuxième vous permettra de rassembler vos énergies respiratoires, mentales, alimentaires. J'attends mettre à votre portée l'essentiel des thérapies manuelles, massage et d'autres thérapies de sport, yoga, tai chi, ainsi de suite. venaient de cultures orientales et si difficilement exploitables chez nous dans leur forme origine. La troisième partie est celle de l'action, en associant respiration, concentration, gym, méditation et bien sûr une discipline alimentaire, le massage et bien sûr la gestion de notre activité métabolique par des processus physiques. On arrive à sculpter le corps là où nous voulons. Dans un dernier chapitre, je propose des aliments énergétiques qui vous permettront de maintenir définitivement votre nouvel état d'équilibre, d'harmonie entre le corps et l'esprit et qui vous mettent à l'abri d'un retour de kilos superflus et vous garantit une bonne santé et la joie de vivre. Mais attention, ma méthode a un fil conducteur. Ne le rompez pas. It's very important for us to make this point. Maigrir trop vite. Ne commettez pas l'erreur de commencer par les exercices d'amaigrissement ciblés sans avoir auparavant mis en œuvre les conseils des chapitres précédents, c'est-à-dire toutes les analyses, les diagnostics et l'identification surtout de comment on est arrivé à cette surpoids qui peuvent être un élément qui déstabilise beaucoup d'autres aspects de notre vie. You know, the weight gain can be something that brings imbalance in all other aspects of our lives. And so when we address it, we are not only addressing as a physical beauty aspect, we are looking at the emotional balance and the well-being and living a healthy life. C'est maintenant que tout commence, contrairement aux autres livres qu'on referme à la dernière page et qu'on oublie plus ou moins rapidement. Celui-ci va vous accompagner pendant plusieurs semaines, voire plusieurs mois, non seulement toute la vie. Il va vous permettre de maigrir là où vous voulez, de modeler et de sculpter votre corps, de retrouver une bonne santé, mais il va aussi vous entraîner dans une aventure dont vous êtes encore loin de mesurer la dimension et qui ira bien au-delà de l'amaigrissement. Yes, of course, if a good therapist walks you through weight loss processes, you certainly will become a healthier person, a better lifestyle, a mentally balanced person, a very ambitious person who is succeeding in all other objectives in their life. Weight loss can be mentally very, very traumatizing and challenging. And when you succeed to regulate this aspect, every other aspects in your life, every other project you put in place, you will succeed them because it's a key that opens 1,000 doors. It's very important to know the relationship you have with your body is so magical. And that's where you start understanding why your spiritual dimension is important. The relationship with your body is the relationship with your God. The relationship with your body is the relationship with your God. Because the highest level of spirituality exists in you. There is the God in you. So when you start being compromising, nasty, unhealthy towards your body, you know what you are dealing with. You're dealing with the Almighty directly and unconditionally. You're dealing with Him. So that was a beautiful reflection. The book is called Maigrir là où vous voulez. Such great books have been translated in all languages. You can get them in the language that suits you. Pierre Paladis. He's an orphan who, one of 10 children, the last of 10 children. He grew in an orphanage most of the time. The mother died 2 days after he was born. You can imagine. And all of that poured in here as a beautiful book. Okay, it's time for us to visit the therapist. When you cannot sleep, when you cannot rest, one of the things you should think first of going to is see a therapist. Let's go visit the therapist after the jingle. Lorsqu'on a des difficultés pour dormir, lorsqu'on a des difficultés pour se reposer, ça veut dire qu'on est sous une influence qui est au-delà de même notre puissance intellectuelle. Parce que des fois, tu peux commander, quelqu'un va dormir, il va respecter. Quand quelqu'un ne respecte pour les instructions, ça veut dire que même les processus cognitifs et l'interprétation des informations ne marchent pas. Ça veut dire que la personne souffre sérieusement mentalement. Je ne voulais pas dire que la personne est fou. I didn't want to say the person is mad already, but maybe we are not far from it. So whenever you're having difficulties with sleep, please, it's nothing simple. You have seen from the scientific basis. Most doctors don't talk about it. They will tell you about cancer. They will tell you about heart attack. They will tell you about diabetes. They will tell you about cancer. They will tell you about diarrhea, malaria, AIDS, and all of that. but I bet you sleep can cause half of these problems. The absence of sleep can create 1,000 more of these problems. So we will be talking about the things the others don't want to talk about. Maybe the number of drugs that they have to take and sell for sleep are not producing as much money as those for the other diseases. But let's, my dear friends, if you are not sleeping well, just know you are listed on those who catch up the other diseases that can be more destructive and humiliate you while you are still on earth. Let's talk about sleep. One of the places you will go to when you have problem of sleep is see a therapist, see a mental health specialist, see a psychotherapist, see a clinical counselor, see a therapist. In therapy, when clients come, sleep is one of the indicators that whatever they were looking for will be achieved. You know, you have these clients, they come and telling you that I have pain all over my body. I cannot stand the pain. I've taken all painkillers. I'm not getting any headway. I don't want to see my uncle, or I don't want to see my husband. I don't want to see my wife. My son will kill me. And sometimes we will let the discussion fade out and we will create a situation for sleep. And we can do it through the 5 senses. We have sound like the flute I played and other sounds that have been engineered therapeutically to bring sleep. And we have clients who sleep during therapeutic sessions. They start by yawning, you know, they yawn, they start, and that yawning is the indication that the environment has provided the initial opening for the process to be in place, to take off. Alors le sommeil, c'est l'un des indicateurs que le thérapeute peut connaître que ce que le client est venu chercher en thérapie va réussir. Et ce sommeil se passe parce que l'environnement parle à des indicateurs qui sont des neurotransmetteurs. Et ça passe par les 5 sens qui vont être réveillés pour prendre contrôle de vous. Beaucoup de clients viennent, ces douleurs me dépassent. J'ai pris toutes les comprimés, les douleurs ne partent pas. Et lorsqu'on peut amener le sommeil au rendez-vous, des fois en pleine science, il y a un début de guérison. Et c'est un indicateur important pour nous, les thérapeutes. Ça commence par les bails. On baille, ça commence par des postures qui changent sur la chaise. Et ces indications, partie somatique, ces observations somatiques permettent pour nous de savoir que le processus est en cours et que le résultat va être atteint, que le client est au bon endroit. Il y a la respiration qui n'est pas stable, qui nous parle aussi. Il y a des douleurs et il y a la façon de manger et bien sûr la façon de s'asseoir. Ce sont des indicateurs qui montrent le niveau des troubles qui se passent devant les personnes. Donc on va tout faire pour que le sommeil soit au rendez-vous. Et donc, comment les personnes réfléchissent, la cohérence dans leurs idées, comment est-ce qu'ils se présentent physiquement, quelles sont leurs expressions faciales, tous ces aspects sont des indicateurs des troubles que nous avons. Mais une chose est certaine, lorsqu'on réussit à introduire le sommeil régularise les postures, il régularise les expressions faciales, il régularise les douleurs dans le corps. Le sommeil régularise l'attitude envers nos proches, même les personnes qu'on a voulu complètement éliminer. Le sommeil régularise nos pensées, même envers les personnes qu'on ne voulait pas voir. Il régularise notre rapport avec nous-mêmes et avec les personnes qui nous entourent. Le sommeil est central et en thérapie, nous le recherchons. Et ça se passe à travers des 5 sens. In our mind-body therapies, we use the 5 senses to introduce well-being, mental balance, and emotional mastery in our patients. And through the sound, we produce music. We use music therapy to be able to introduce frequencies that will stimulate the neurotransmitter and the brain processes that will bring sleep into action. It will also bring relaxation to the muscular system and improve on the breathing so that the oxygenation of the brain and the cells of the body will bring a deeper level of peace. There is light therapy. We know light is energy, and light energy will come in the different colors. So we have colors of lighting, an association of colors of lighting that actually will induce sleep in therapeutic situations. But at home, we'll tell you, take off the lights, let there be darkness. It was part of your system. You spent 9 months in the womb with no candle lights, no electric lighting in there, and you came out beautiful, exemplary beautiful. We use the power of smell in aromatherapy and the essential oils. They are essential oils with therapeutic values that are directed towards resting, relaxation, and sleep. They are indicated for that. And of course, as a therapist, we don't use them in pure state. We build what we call synergistic blends that come and enhance each other to strengthen the overall effect, which means that the individual strengths in a synergistic blend, the blend gives you more than the sum of the components. And this is beautiful, what the science of healing can do to heal us. And the beautiful thing about therapy is that there are no side effects, except that you'll be such a sweet person that nobody will resist you. That's the only side effect. I hope you're smiling when you hear this. Then there is touch therapy with massage, the different forms of massage, shiatsu, which is Japanese, reflexology with Swedish massage from European friends, with of course Thailand massage with the different massages, touch therapy, especially special trigger points of the body. We can be able to create deep relaxation, which is a prerequisite for beautiful sleep, and of course regulating the emotions in the process. And of course, there are foods that will cut away your sleep. In therapy, we talk about sattvic diets. Sattvic diets are therapies that heal, that bring appeasement, that kill all violent tendencies and stressful emotions and impurities in the body. These sattvic diets are mostly vegetarian diet. They are mostly fresh foods, not congested, conserved, preserved food. They are not foods that have been kept in the refrigerator for years, canned food, heavily processed food, heavily sweetened, sugary food, and of things that come in heavily processed industrial procedures or overcooked in the homes and so on. In therapy, we will prescribe your diet, and you would see in what order. There is the combination of foods as well, and there are the times you eat and how you eat, and the environment in which you eat. This starts becoming a concern. Not so when you listen to all of this. Donc il s'agit de s'adresser les 5 sens, le toucher par des massages, de différentes techniques de massage et des huiles et des essences aromatiques qui jouent directement sur l'apaisement profond, la détente musculaire, l'apaisement des systèmes nerveux et l'introduction du sommeil. Il y a le mélange par des compositions spécifiques des essences à travers des huiles essentielles, ce qu'on appelle synergistic blends, donc une association des essences qui jouent directement sur le système central nerveux et les neurotransmetteurs, dont les produits chimiques, à travers le système olfactif. Cette partie profonde du système limbique du cerveau est touchée et le sommeil est directement appelé par ces essences. Gestion de nos niveaux de stress et apaisement par les énergies des lumières. Et on va également traverser par le son avec des fréquences spécifiques comme la flûte que j'ai jouée et d'autres où les associations de cette musique sont prescrites. Et puis il y a des modes de vie, la relaxation, les promenades, les visites dans les milieux sains, les visites dans les milieux purs et les visites de la nature. There are also lifestyle, not only your food. There is also visit of holy places, of spiritual places, connecting with higher energies and be able to control your emotional state. It is very important that we start looking into these aspects in therapy. Et ton alimentation, pas des boîtes de conserve, pas des nourritures trop cuites, préparées, trop épicées, pas des... On parle de sattvic. Repas sattvic, ça vient de la culture indienne et la médecine Ayurveda. So sattvic diets come from Ayurvedic medicine, which is the Indian traditional medicine, and which is such a powerful healing process for all of us. It's very important for us to look back in our traditional lives in our respective villages that there were no refrigerators, food was eaten fresh. Dans nos villages, il n'y a pas de frigo, on mange frais et on mange juste la quantité pour la journée. Et des fois, on va cueillir juste ce qu'on va préparer. Il est important qu'on visite les 5 sens à travers les thérapies que nous pratiquons pour éviter d'avoir les soucis de sommeil, mais surtout pour ceux qui n'arrivent pas à dormir, d'avoir de l'aide et retrouver leur sommeil. Les numéros sur l'écran, c'est pour vous. Appelez, passez vos messages, envoyez-nous vos soucis et nous allons revenir vers vous. Nous sommes en train d'arriver à la fin de notre émission aujourd'hui. Coming to the end of the program today was quite a very deep reflection and pointings today. We had reasons to be very emotional at some point. We had reason to be very touched by our own expressions at some point because we feel the pain of others as a way of life. Nous ressentons les douleurs des autres par la nature de notre métier. À un moment donné, les réflexions étaient assez profondes et ça nous a touchés spécifiquement. Et tout ça, c'est juste exprimer ce que ça peut arriver quand vous rencontrez les gens qui doivent prendre des décisions importantes qui affectent la vie des autres et qui n'arrivent pas à avoir le sommeil. Vous pouvez imaginer ce que ça va être, cette communauté, cette entreprise, cette famille qui est gérée par des personnes qui ne dorment pas bien et qui ne dorment pas assez. Vous pouvez imaginer où ce bateau va finir. Il est très important. Donc je m'adresse à des dirigeants, des chefs d'entreprise, les chefs de famille. Vous avez beaucoup de responsabilités, mais vous avez aussi beaucoup de raisons d'être responsable envers vous-même. As head of families, head of governments, head of big parastatals and corporate organizations, heads of families, you are called to be more responsible, yes, but of all, be more responsible towards yourself. And sleep is one of those things you should look for. As therapists, our hands are open and our grace is available through the Almighty Great One that comes from above to you, and through shadows come back to us and watch these programs and benefit from it so that your journey be beautiful. We're starting meditation. Sit up and relax as we invoke the beauty of sleep in our presence. As you breathe in slowly, listen to the music and flow with it. Vous respirez doucement et profondément. Vous lâchez les épaules, vous souriez quand vous pensez à des moments juste quelques secondes avant votre sommeil. Think of those few minutes just before your sleep. Half sleep, half awake. Think of those moments. Think of how every other thing doesn't matter. How you are ready to let go every other thing. À ce moment, tout le reste ne compte plus. Tu es prêt à tout abandonner parce que le sommeil t'appelle. Le sommeil t'appelle. Sleep is calling for you. Can you answer to sleep's call, please? Le sommeil t'appelle, il t'appelle, il t'appelle. Sa voix est douce et tellement apaisante. Est-ce que vous êtes attentionné à l'appel du sommeil? Are you aware? Are you listening to the voice of sleep calling you through this meditation? Respirez profondément, lâchez les épaules et détendez le visage. Écoutez le son de la musique et dans ces sons, ressentez l'appel du sommeil et le repos. As you listen to the call of sleep, be in a state of rest as you relax. Let this meditation take you to your best moments when you came out of sleep, feeling rejuvenated and regenerated and renewed in your strength, like a newborn baby. En écoutant cette musique, laisse la musique t'amener à ce réveil du sommeil. Vous arrivez comme un nouveau-né avec la lumière dans vos yeux, l'énergie au beau fixe et une envie de rebondir, plein de vie, régénérer, réjuvéner. Et c'est le sommeil qui nous apporte tout ce bonheur. Vous avez peur de mourir, mais vous ne pouvez pas résister au sommeil. You are afraid to die, but you cannot resist sleep. So relax and let sleep be yours. Continue to breathe in slowly and deeply, and continue to accept this beautiful journey to rest. Slowly, gradually come to yourself and open your eyes as you accept special and warm-hearted greetings from here in the studio, as we thank Desley and his wonderful team and all our get friends back there who put these programs on Facebook, BT Media Group. They are working hard to put Shadows on the BT Media Group so that you can have it anytime you want. If you missed it on television on Friday evenings and on Sunday evenings, je remercie Desley et toute son équipe, surtout nos amis qui font tout pour que Shadows soit sur BT Media Group, Facebook BT Media Group. Comme ça, tu peux avoir les émissions à tout moment que vous avez besoin de. Vous pouvez partager avec vos amis et vos membres de famille à tout moment pour permettre le message de bonheur, d'apaisement, de guérison d'être disponible à nous tous et à tout moment. Et bien sûr, je dis merci à l'administration de BT Media Group and My Media TV. Thanks to the management of BT Media Group and of course the My Media team for making this available to you all around the world. And thank you for coming back to us next Friday to watch Shadows, another beautiful topic to be treated. And on Sundays 8 p.m. come certainly for the rebroadcast. Go on Emmanuel Chiangong Facebook, you also have Shadows there, and our YouTube Viva Coiffure, you will have us there. It was a pleasure. Smile.